Georgia Tech recruiting is going bonkers. Them boys is cooking. Third commit of the day. Hey, Georgia Tech not playing around, okay? So we're going to break it all down today coming up on the show. And in this one, we're going to talk specifically Jason Crenshaw from Prattville High School in Alabama. Coming up more today on the show. Yes, sir, man. Them Georgia Tech boys is cooking. And today we're gonna talk about Jason Crenshaw. Now, some fans are gonna be a little bit concerned because they're like, Naj, why did he played a lot of his ball on the edge? So Naj, why did we get another edge player? We already got 4 committed. I think he's gonna be one of the ones that he's gonna play a little bit all over for the Georgia Tech football team and for this program, right? I don't think he's just going to be, a edge rusher. I think he's gonna play multiple roles for these Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, right? And I think it's gonna be very important to talk about and obviously look at when we talk about obviously this prospect. And I think they looked at the physicality, they looked at his awareness, they looked at how violent he is, and they looked at his explosiveness. And I think Georgia Tech was like, yo, we got to go get that. We got to go get him. Right. And just because what we're going to look at is what he played with his former team, Carver Montgomery. It does not mean that's going to be the same position he plays at Prattville. He might be playing something totally different. That's where that aspect kind of comes in a little bit, y'all. That versatility, different things he's able to do, different things he's able to bring to the table. That is what he is and what he is at his best. Okay. So for Georgia Tech, another major commit, and a guy you can lean on and build around in the class and defensively, you know what I'm saying, for the program and for the team. Okay. So without further ado, man, we're gonna roll this tape. It's about 3 minutes long. We're gonna break it all down today on the show. And then we're gonna just talk about the class. The class is interesting. You would think it would get upgraded, but it actually moved down a spot with the latest commits today. But there is still hope for a top 25 class. Still got some players they're trying to get in and jostle for a little bit that should be able to make a difference, man. And then we're going to also talk about it's a 3-star prospect, man, that announced his, or a 4-star prospect, excuse me, that announced his finalists today as well. So we will get into all that in the nitty gritty today. Okay, all right, let's roll it. There we go. As you guys see, he played for Carver Montgomery. Okay, all right. So right here. And first play you guys are going to see, he's just explosive off the edge. He's going to beat this guy to a spot. Great angle, good bend, right? Just kind of like bend down and then went and got the quarterback right there. Forces obviously a forced fumble, incomplete pass, however you want to say it. And then here, you guys can see, just real explosive. 1, 2, boom, beat him to the spot, right? Go down and obviously get the big time sack, right? That is what he's able to do. That's what he's able to bring to the table, right? This is what he specializes in. Okay. Here, right? Just kind of like nothing crazy. The quick first step is there on this one, guys, but it was more so, hey, I'm going to use my power here, right? See that power because he pushes him out the way, and then the explosiveness is there to be able to go get the quarterback, right? Second and long, right? Money downs for, these edge rushers, okay? So you got obviously a motion coming over, right? He's pretty practically unblocked, right? And the reason I say that is, right, he's going to kind of like sift down, beat that guy to a spot. He's so late, and then he's able to wrap up the ball carrier in the backfield right there, right? So just too slow in that scenario and situation for Jason Crenshaw. Okay, here, right, same thing, nothing crazy, not doing anything finesse wise, right? He's just kind of coming to the outside, beating them with a nice angle, good bend, good technique, and forces the incompletion, right? This is how he specializes here, right? Same thing. Watch him do that little smooth dip under, right? I see that little dip he did on the big board right there. Boom. Y'all see that? That's a dip under right here. Let me get lower than your pad level, and then I'm going to go get the quarterback, get a forced fumble right there, and force the ball out of his hands. I believe this is another angle, right? Boom. That little dip down right there. Quarterback's waiting. Nothing is open. And then boom. Y'all see he trying to draw the ball loose right there and make a play on the ball. All right. Here, unblocked, right? Looks like it was a broken play. Right place, right time for him, right? This is a wildcat play. Eric snap. You know what I'm saying? Jason Crenshaw is back there. He gets the major TFL, right? Third down and pretty much medium right here. Okay. Matched up against the right tackles. You guys can see. And then just I like the relentlessness here, right? It was nothing special that he did. No special pass rush move. He just simply used his power, continued to push, and then get into the backfield, right? So reminds me of Success Nawabude, right? The explosiveness, the violence at that position that you're going to need for years to come, right? Think about Jamar Thompson on the inside, but except it's outside. The Braden Gordons, right? He's going to kind of give you that element, right? Same thing there. Unblocked, they're trying to get it out quick. He's already in the backfield and forces an errant throw by the quarterback. He has to eat the sack, right? So that's what he gives you. So for those that are worried, just remember, right? Just because you're seeing him play this edge rusher position does not mean that's what he's going to play with Georgia Tech, right? There's a reason they recruited him. He's an outside linebacker. So he's going to be interchangeable the same way that Braden Gordon is going to be as well, right? So this is not one just position. Okay, this is multiple positions. That's why they like him. The versatility they can bring to the table. Okay, this one is a little bit hard to see, so I'm not going to comment on that one. Okay, right here, just quick, right up off the edge, beats that offensive tackle, and great recovery, right? Look at it, just a great play by the offensive line, right? Because the quick first step is there, and then boom, he's right in position. So what does he do? Right? He stays in the play. Phenomenal contain. I want to break that down a little bit more, right? Great job by the offensive lineman. But see right there how he repositions himself. Oh, okay, cool. I got to make sure I get back outside my shoulder pads right here, and I don't allow this backer or this running back to be able to get to this part right here, right? That's very crucial, right? Because if not, okay, he's gonna have to feel. If he feels and he misses the tackle, he's gonna be one-on-one for a touchdown, right? Period. So he does a good job getting back into the sight line, taking that play away, and making a big time tackle right there. That was a phenomenal job here. And then here, I love how he reads this. This is an RPO action, right? You're reading the quarterback to see what he's going to be able to do here. Do you collapse down and get the ball carrier, or do you stay contained and watch outside? So what happens here, right? So it's a good job by him, but he runs the play down. So you see the athleticism, you see the explosiveness of him being able to run down plays, right? Boom, RPO action. He's a little bit behind here, but look at him go and chase down this running back and get a TFL, right? Exactly what you need, what you want to see at that position. Okay. Red zone, right? Can you make those stops? Remember last year, Georgia Tech had Jordan Vandenberg, right? They had him eating up that space. Sometimes they would get decent plays off the edge, not as frequently as they may have wanted. Here, unblocked, just go help out with your teammates and collapse down and be able to make a play on the ball. Right? That's simple. Right here, one-on-one with the guy. Good move inside. Good stem. Good strong hands. See? Boom. Stem. Look at him use his hands right here to be able to get on the inside of this left tackle. And then being able to take away that rushing lane for that running back. Exactly what you want to see and what you want from your edge, your outside linebacker. All right, here he is here. Boom. Okay. So y'all see all this beef that's going on right here. So they're gonna be trying to get a hat on the hat. This guy's gonna probably try to get up here. He's gonna kind of switch through here, and then it's gonna leave for the ball carrier to open up this play. Right? So look at the great job that he does here. He sets this, right? One more time. Boom. See, he pushes him back, right? And they're trying to get up. That's why this play is important, because if he gets a good block, then he can sift through here and get a nice run, right? But he completely bulldozes this guy, pushes him out the way, right? And this running back is trying to run through that hole I told you guys about. But he's able to converge down and stop him right in his tracks right there. Okay, and this one, just like I said, the speed, athleticism, just being able to run down the play right here on this opposite edge. And then, like I said, just straight quick fire hands, right? This is what they teach you, that chop, right? Watch them chop their hands down. Boom, chop. And then go get the quarterback, force an errant throw right there, right? Great chop move right there from him. And then here, this next one is all footwork, right? He's gonna stem like he's going inside, and then he's gonna pop out, right? Watch the stem in and pop out. Stem in, out. Y'all seen that? It was very quick. Okay, one more time. Stem and out. It's very subtle though. Boom, boom. Y'all seen that? Boom, boom. And then he went out. Right? Very underrated move, but you see the difference that can make, right? Right here, he's unblocked. Everything is sifting down to him, right? But why this play works, why he's able to make a play, because he shows the physicality. He hits somebody in the mouth first, right? Boom. He hit 73 in the mouth. Then, okay, cool. Okay, I hit 73. Let me knock him off, but also let me contain right here and now allow this running back to run through, right? I know my help is outside, right? So I need to make sure I get inside. Boom. He gets inside. He knows the levels his help outside, and he goes and makes a play. Underrated, but obviously a great play right there from him. Okay. Same thing here. Opposite side, edge, unblocked, one-on-one, ball carrier, down to the ground. Okay. Same thing here. Boom. Just quick move, good bend, good technique. Go get the quarterback, right? So he has different things that he can add to the table. The in and out stem move, right here, just a good bend, good explosive, quick first step, get it out of their hands, right? So for those that ask, like I said, this is his tape from Carver Montgomery, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that's what he's going to be, right? But he gives Coach Kyle Pope, the linebackers coach, some versatility, right? Because he can play stat linebacker, similar to what you've seen with Braden Gordon, right? Both can play stat linebacker, right? Or they can come down and on those third downs, you got to go get a play. Both of those guys can go get a play. Okay. So I think that's what he brings to the table. Another guy that'll be able to help them. It'd be interesting to see what he looks like this year with Prattville, right? If they're going to have him playing more so that will linebacker instead of kind of on that outside, or will they have him play more inside? It's going to be very interesting to see. But that is what Carver had him play last year. And a little bit about this commitment too is very important because he was teammates with Caleb Spivey, who committed to Georgia Tech, right? Caleb Spivey and him played for Carver Montgomery, last year, right? Both transferred. He went to Prattville. Caleb Spivey went back to Benjamin Russell in Alexander City, Alabama. Okay. So that's the ladies there, but I'm pretty sure they both had conversations about teaming up. Okay. So I'm going to ask him about that. My plan is to get him on the show here pretty soon. That he recently just hit me back. So I'm trying to get on the show and ask him, like, hey, how do you feel about playing outside linebacker? How you feel about this? How you feel about that? We're going to have that conversation. Okay. So that's the film right now. But for those that are staying, Georgia Tech fans, please stay. Okay. I got something sweet for you guys. Okay. So this is going unnoticed. Nobody's talking about this in the recruiting world, right? At the moment, I guess you could say, with Georgia Tech riders, things like that. Okay. So what's going on here? Okay. So Kyle Johnson is a major target for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Okay. So he announced his finalists today. Okay. So I want y'all to stick around. His finalists includes Maryland, Indiana, LSU, Georgia Tech, and obviously North Carolina. Okay. So those were the major schools for him that obviously he decided to say. I don't know why it's not showing the finalists. I definitely put that in the article. I don't know why things get moved around. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. It's kind of annoying. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to share the tab so you guys can see. All right. Here it is right here. Okay. So he announced it via his social media. So stay tuned for this, guys. Top 5 right here for Kyle L. Johnson. This is a major target. This dude is a consensus 4-star. You know what I'm saying? And Georgia Tech is in the running for him. Now if you go to 247 Sports, right, they have him going to Ohio State. Ohio State's not in his final 5, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not in the running for it. Maybe they make a late push. Not sure, right? But this is a very humble kid. Now, his tape is special, right? He can move some guys in the run game. He's an anchor on the offensive line, right? So for Georgia Tech, if you want to get a top 25 class, which I think they're trending towards, you're going to have to land a guy of this caliber, of this stature, right? Dude is him, right? 4-star consensus. You look at the need for Georgia Tech. They have to fill that offensive tackle spot, period, right? You got offensive guard down, right? You got guys like Jordan Dillon. He's in there, right? The Rockmore offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? Jaden Thompson's in there. You got to land on the offensive tackle. The good thing is they're in the running for 3 of them, right? You got, obviously, Kyle L. Johnson. You got Joshua Salmon Pele. You know what I'm saying? He's very good. And Braylon Mills is another. If I'm a Tech fan, I want this guy right here, right? Because I believe he's one of those cornerstone pieces. As I said in this article, you know what I'm saying? I believe he's a guy that can come in and play day one, right? Because you look at the team and you look at left tackle and you look at Ethan McKinney, he's a redshirt junior, y'all. Okay. So with him being a redshirt junior, can he go? Like if he has a productive season, he's all ACC, he might decide to leave, right? So that opens up, hey, I gotta fill that left tackle spot, right? And I'm gonna need some youth there. Now, Jamison Riggs is supposed to occupy that right tackle spot. You know what I'm saying? This upcoming year for Georgia Tech. But why not have a player of this caliber in there, along with the Hurd twins, along with this class that you got coming in, that could potentially land that spot, right? And he gives me the remnants of, think about Jackson Cantwell, think about Maxwell Hiller, right? Think about David Sanders. He gives me that kind of feel like he can come in there with his 6'6", 310-pound frame. They can go, if he can come in there and roll early in the spring, right? He can come in there, man, and he can become a guy, right? And potentially not necessarily only rotate, but even potentially start. And if you Georgia Tech, you got a cornerstone player for about the next 3 to 4 years on your offensive line, right? Because you think about the future, you think about what you want this team to be, and you want this team to run the football, right? You want this team to be able to make those throws and that play action throws in this Georgia Godsey offense, right? So that is what this kid, Kyle L. Johnson, is going to give you. So this is a major target, right? And one thing I like too, you go on his profile, his page, and he's retweeting, he's reposting, he is adding to his story different Georgia commits. Not Georgia, Georgia Tech commits, right? That's massive. That's very important for Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? Because that means, okay, he's seeing what they're doing. They're like, oh, okay, I like what I see, right? Now, I ain't saying that he is in a position where he's going to commit tomorrow, right? But I will say he's a guy that really likes this program, right? So if you coach Key, this is a must, right? And now you got proof of concept, as I said in that article. Y'all go check it out. You got proof of concept because now you can sit there and say, oh, yeah, we got Keelan Rutledge into the league, first round draft pick, right? We had all ACC caliber players last year, all ACC honorable mention in a Malachi Carney, right? So now we got that proof of concept that you're starting to kind of see now, right? So you could show that to a guy like a Kyle L. Johnson of why you should come here, right? Kid is humble. I've had conversations with him, right? Very smart, you know what I'm saying? And does things the right way, not into the clout stuff, just wants to play the game the right way, wants to do things the right way. Embodies, to me, a Georgia Tech man. So this is going to be one to watch over the next few weeks because it's starting to heat up. So your Georgia Tech, you're doing good because you're in the top 5 and you did really good with the OV. Now you got to close the deal, right? Getting a guy like Kyle L. Johnson is going to get you that top 25 ranking that you want, right? And this is going to be a recruitment that they're going to have to continue to put pressure on, right? And the reason I say put pressure on is because teams are going to continue to want to get him. North Carolina is going to continue to push. LSU is going to continue to push. Can't forget about Ohio State. These teams are going to push for this kid because he is special. I'm telling y'all, I watched the film. I ain't broken down on the channel yet, but I've watched the film. Dude is special. All right. So it's going to be very important over the next few weeks. They continue to do that and nurture that, right? And bring that in. Now if Coach Key, he go and get this kid. Yeah, y'all go ahead and that little Alexander Tharp fund and NIL, y'all better start contributing. You know what I'm saying? Because he getting major guys, right? Money's not a thing to him. This kid don't care. He wouldn't get developed. That doesn't matter to him. But I'm just saying, Coach Key go and get elite prospects. That's 6. That would be 6 blue chip prospects for this cycle. 6, y'all. At some point, we got to say, oh, Coach Key, you doing your damn thing. You doing your thug thizzle. Because at that point, you are. So, y'all, big fans that watch, like, this is the type of stuff you want to see. So, you in the building for it. Now, let's close the deal. Let's do what we need to do, right? Because I'm going to show y'all the class real quick of where they are. And it's interesting that they actually fell down. I didn't expect to see this, right? They're number 27 now. I thought they'd be better with the 3 commits they got today. I have other videos I'm going to drop tonight still that you guys will go check out, film breakdowns on Antoine Lockett and Bryce Porter. But I thought it'd be better. So you're going to have to compete with California. They got a 4-star prospect. You have to compete with Louisville. They got a 4-star prospect. That's the competition. You 88.43. So if you want to get top 25, you got to get that class score to probably over about 90%. And then 2 for 7 had you at 30, right? So it's plausible. You got 5 blue chips. You need to get probably about 1 or 2 more blue chips. And I think you will be the coach with this class. 19 commits. I don't think they're going to get a whole bunch more. They're going to be very, very particular about who else they get. Trust me on that. Very, very, very particular, right? They're only going to probably get about maybe 3 or 4 more commits. We'll see if they do a couple flips in December. We'll see if, a couple guys, whatever happens, if they decide to flip or decommit or whatever it may be. But you in a good position right now. And if you coach Key, this is what you want. Because then when the season starts in August, I ain't got to think about this class, right? Yes, I still nurture and recruit it. I still have them come for game day visits, but I ain't got to necessarily be so hard pressed. I ain't got to, oh man, what am I going to do? I just got to continue to nurture that relationship. I got to continue to do what I need to do for my squad. And I can focus on the season, have some success. Then it's easier at that point. I can start landing and getting in good with the 2028 class, right? Now I'm going to bring up this last point. Okay? I could do a separate video. Y'all let me know down in the comments. Y'all watching. Y'all tearing up this live. So I greatly appreciate you guys for that. Especially let me know if you guys want a separate video. But I want to touch on this just real quick with you guys because I think it's a calling card of what's going on with Georgia Tech. Now I've seen it earlier. Where did it go? Y'all bear with me. Hold on 1 second. It might be Rivals High School. And this is going to put my point all together. Here it is right here. I want you guys to see this, please. Now, let me know in the comments. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You hype up the video. Let me know if you want a separate video on this. This is important, right? Now, 707s I have not been at for good reason. But they offered today, University Lab, Knox Kiffin. That is literally Lane Kiffin's son. And Athens Academy, Andrew Smart, who is Kirby Smart's son as well, right? Now, what does that tell me? That tells me Coach Key is fostering relationships early, right? Let's go ahead and build that rapport and relationship with some of these guys early, right? Because we're going to be a team that's going to be here for the foreseeable future. Coach Key has that 5-year contract now, y'all. Remember that, right? 5-year contract he just got, newly appointed and anointed, right? Really good looking class that should be top 25 before it's said and done. But now you're starting to get to where, hey, let me start having these conversations with some of these young thoroughbreds. Let me start having these conversations with some of these young guys, right? And let me offer them, you know what I'm saying, and build that early relationship. That's important, right? You go back and look at 2027, even though some of the guys that commit, they had early commitments, right? Jordan Christie, Keon Stanford at that time. They had the earliness of that, right? Now, all of them didn't pan out, but if you Georgia Tech, you was able to build that early rapport relationship. It's very important. So when you look at this, I don't know if Kirby Smart's son, Andrew Smart's going to come to Georgia Tech. I don't know if Knox Kiffin's son is going to come to Georgia Tech. But what you've done is, before you start really looking in depth and you start taking an eye, and you're like, oh, let me look at this class more in depth, you already have that initial rapport relationship because you already offered them, right? So that's important. You're offering, these are people you're going to compete with, right? Now, I don't know if Kirby going to be cool with him going to Georgia Tech. You got the rivalry, Georgia versus Georgia Tech. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if, Lane Kiffin going to feel good with his son, Knox Kiffin, potentially going to Georgia Tech in this rivalry. I don't know. But if you Coach Key, well, I'll be damned. I'm at least throw a shot out there. I'm at least see. You know what I'm saying? I got to see what's going to be coming up next. And it's a great job by him, right? And it showed you the difference in the recruiting of why this recruiting class is here to stay for years and years and years, because he's building rapport and relationships early, regardless if you're in state or you're out of state, right? All that's important, because when he brings these teams in there for these 7-on-7s, now he's doing 6-7 days of these teams, he can have those conversations. He can offer kids. It's important, and this is why I think Georgia Tech's here to come and here to stay for a long time, right? And I said in another video, I feel like they get disrespected. Number 12 in the ACC is wild to me. With all the talent they got from the portal and how that defensive line looked in the spring, I don't know what they smoking in the national power rankings, but you can't tell me this team ain't different from compared to a couple years ago. It's night and day. Like, the recruiting is elite, and it starts here. It starts with the 7-on-7s. It starts with the Brent Key camps. It starts with the Alan Mogridge camps. It starts with the Vinny Sinceri camps. All that stuff makes a difference. And the last point I want to put before I wrap up this show for today, he's also built out this recruiting class, which is very special, right? He's doubled damn near the size of it. So instead of him having to do everything, hey, let me deploy. Let me get the right people. Let me get people that are smarter than me in these certain spots. So then, right, they could tell me different things. Oh, I looked at this kid, Coach Key. I think, he could be potentially a fit for us, right? Oh, I seen this. I can go travel here, right? It helps because then he can work on operational stuff. He can work on making sure the scheme and stuff is right. And he can depend on his trusted ears and eyes to say, oh, okay, that's what we need. Oh, we need to check this guy out more. And it takes the weight off, So it's important, man. But I think this team, they hooping. They doing the right stuff. And I really think, man, you sleep on Georgia Tech if you want to. I'm excited to cover this team this year. I think they're going to be fun. They got a lot of primetime games. They're doing their thing with their thug thizzle with the recruiting. And they on the verge of popping, right? They're already in the national spotlight, right? This is the year everybody's sleeping on Georgia Tech yet again. And then you imagine this team goes and they handle that business and they go beat Tennessee week 2 of the season. Bro, the recruits going to go stupid. They're going to be like, they beat Tennessee, a national blue blood program in college football? Come on, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. They is on the verge. So don't pay attention to national rankings. Don't be paying attention to the recruitment. They good. And they always pull off some flips before it's said and done. Always. They always got 1, 2, maybe 3 different flips in there. So I expect for them to fully do that, man. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I'm trying to get some road games in there for my Georgia Tech fans that follow me and like to tune in. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. Mr. Rocksteady GT, thank you for always tuning in, man. I'll be trying to supply y'all with great topics and good stuff that's entertaining that you guys like to watch. I'm going to try to do that with basketball this year, too, and cover that. You know what I'm saying? But please forgive me, okay? I want to say that for the 12 that watching, please forgive me. I am a Miami Hurricanes fan, but I still have a love for Georgia Tech, okay? And I cover the team. But I will be covering other teams on the channel. I know some of y'all might click away when you see me covering Georgia and Bama and other teams, but I'm just trying to grow this thing, y'all. I love me some college football. I love some college basketball, man. And obviously, I mean, NFL I won't probably discuss on my YouTube as much, but I love covering it in the entire landscape, man. I just want to grow it big. You know what I'm saying? And that's all. Like I said, I will never stop covering Georgia Tech. I will always cover that team and try to get insight and always try to get intel because they treat you right. The administration treats you right. The program treats you right. So hope you guys don't mind. Hope you guys always stay tuned. Like I said, tell a friend and tell a friend. Like, comment, subscribe, hype it up. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. And stay tuned tonight because I'm gonna have more for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna have Antoine Lockett and I'm gonna have Bryce Porter tonight as well at some point. Post those videos. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, man. I will be back here pretty soon in the next video. And always remember, it is just peace and love.